Hi, I'm Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks. Welcome to Stages Podcast,
where we're bringing creation and connection to center stage.
Stages Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Oh, it's autumn, it's sweater weather. And here in the Northeast, it is also time to start preparing for the stillness of winter. Some trees change color and shed leaves, and carloads of leaf peepers put on their sweaters and head to the Northeast to bathe in its beauty. But the process of leaf shedding is so much more than just a tourist attraction. When a tree sheds, it conserves energy and strength. It pulls the nutrients from each leaf and then allows that leaf to fall away to the ground. Over time, it's covered in snow and creates fertile topsoil for new life. And just like the trees, it is the perfect time of year for all of us to let the things that no longer serve us fall away. I love that image, pulling wisdom from past experiences and then letting them fall away in order to grow new dreams. But letting go isn't easy. It's a practice like everything else. And sometimes we need a little help navigating that process. And this is where BetterHelp can help. BetterHelp offers customized online therapy, either on video or live phone chat sessions. It is very affordable, and you can speak to someone within 48 hours. A good therapist can really help you pull wisdom from the past and let go with kindness and courage. I highly recommend. BetterHelp has a special offer for Stages Podcast listeners. You receive 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. So many of our listeners have taken advantage of this, and we thank you, because when you support BetterHelp, you support Stages Podcast, all while supporting your own well-being. So just for today, put on a new sweater, and then I want you to close your eyes, pick one thing that you can learn and grow from. Watch it change color and fall away, and then grow a new dream. Log on to BetterHelp, that's HELP/stages, and love where you are now. Thanks, BetterHelp.
If you could play one role, regardless of age, regardless of typecasting, what would it be?
I always sang Cinderella stuff because that suits my voice better. But no one would have ever casted
You
me.
Understand that?
Yeah.
You are a little red. You're insatiable. You're sassy. You're dangerous. You will take on that giant.
I'd whip a knife out at someone for sure.
You're Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Today, I am the lone host, but don't be disappointed because I have two guests. My partner in crime, Stephanie J. Block, and her wonderful husband, Sebastian Arcelus. I had the extreme pleasure of seeing both of them in Into the Woods. And what I will say about this show is that the performances of literally every single cast member is perfection. This version of Into the Woods is as close to a perfect Broadway show as you will ever find. The casting, the directing, the design, all of it. To me, it is what theater should be. Clean and directed brilliantly so that you can focus on and take in every brilliant word and note. You're swept up in the humor and the joy and the confusion and the sadness of everyone's story. To just focus on my two guests today for a moment, I won't give away too much, but I will say this. Steph, it is not silly to say that this role feels like it was written for you. You can see how much fun that you're having up there. The songs just float out seemingly without effort. But there's one moment that I won't give away. It is at the end of Moments in the Woods. You take a breath. Everyone in the audience takes that breath with you. I've never seen anyone else do it at the end of this song. And that moment deepened the song tenfold. It was stunning. Seb, I adored you as the baker. I loved the way you approached this character, the way you underplayed the humor in the beginning. It was so subtle that when you take that turn right before No More, it is impactful. Suddenly, this sweet guy breaks your heart wide open. When you turned and you said, no more questions, please. I started to cry. I didn't stop crying until the end of No One Is Alone. The whole front of my shirt was soaking wet because I didn't bring a tissue because I didn't think I'd be crying because I'd seen the show so many times. The word that I would use for your performance in that moment was haunting. We talked about it for days. I have to say that the two of you made these parts completely your own. And I am so happy, not only that I got to see you do it, but that you can experience this together and then take time to talk about it. So please welcome Seb Arcelus and Stephanie Locke.
Hello.
Wow, Mary Lee.
You're
Wow.
so haunting, Seb.
It was haunting. It really was. Michael was like,
You know, it is. That is
mind.
like the perfect adjective. It is. It is haunting.
It broke my heart. And I really didn't bring a tissue. I'm like, oh, please. I've seen the show like 100 times. I'm not going to cry. I bawled because I think it was, you were so subtle through the beginning. Like a lot of people play that part, which will punch the humor in the beginning. And you were really subtle with the humor. And so that when you took that turn, it was like, I don't know, it just broke it wide open in a really different way. It was amazing. You guys were so good. I can't even talk. I want to see it again.
The beauty of it is that I think we're still, and we will continue to find things every single night. That happens with me anyway, when I do a show and we're in previews, which I consider we're still in previews because we've only been doing the show for 2.5 weeks, which is crazy. But by like week 4 or 5, you're like, oh, there's this moment. Mm-hmm. Ooh, if I connect this to this in act 1, then the payoff for me and the audience will be triple if I do that. So the mining of these characters, I don't think is going to stop, you know?
Well, and it looked like with you and the prince, you guys were having so much fun. It was so obvious that you were literally just playing and that you were going with it together. I could tell he was doing things to you to genuinely make you laugh. Oh, it was so fun to watch those moments with you guys, with Gavin Creel. First of all, he's hysterical, and I really hope he gets a Tony nod for his work because he's so funny, so funny.
He's so funny. He's a big dum-dum. And you're right. He does want to play. He's like the mixture between like a Russell Terrier and a praying mantis. I don't even know how to explain it.
We were doing the put-in, and I actually missed my next entrance. Put-in being the rehearsal, in costume before we actually take the stage for the first time. And I missed my entrance because I was peeled on them. My eyes were peeled on them, and I just broke it up every night.
Have you ever done these roles before, either of you?
I played the baker my senior year of college at Williams College, which is actually where Stephen Sondheim went to college as well. But this was a small production. Musicals were not really part of the theater department's curriculum. I wasn't a theater major. So this was a student-run production. It was my senior year.
Give him the year I need to know, old man.
This was 1999.
That's not that long ago.
Which is so interesting because, back then you think of Into the Woods having been around for so long, but it really was only 12 years old, the show itself. Yeah. And I had, by that point of my college career, decided to become an actor. So there was something sort of pivotal about being a part of this show, because I was approaching it from the standpoint of, this is my, at least, chosen endeavor, if not career yet. Anyway, our big thing with that particular show was we had a grad student who was very accomplished, design our costumes. And the design that he had was for us all to wear spray painted garbage bags as our costumes. It's very artsy-fartsy. Now, there were a number of challenges. One is garbage bags. So,
which, by the way, honey, we need to pick up garbage bags. We're out.
Small trash bags. Yes, that's true. Thank you for the reminder. So 1, loud. 2, sweaty. Spray paint, the fumes, not so good for...
And the paint's probably cracking all over the stage and falling off.
With due respect, it was not the best design. And it presented many challenges. Luckily, the day before our dress rehearsal, we came into the theater and the custodial staff had thrown out our costumes, mistaking them for garbage, which in the end, they may have been. And we all forged our closets in our dorm rooms and pieced together a costume design and did the show. And it was totally cathartic back then. But as a, whatever I was, 21-year-old, I probably had a 30% true understanding of what the show.
Yeah, you
really
don't have the life
means.
experience at that age. You don't know what it is to have children. You don't know what it is to really struggle. You don't know what it is to have your hopes dashed time and time again. So you can bring so much more to it. You know,
it's an entirely different experience now, and obviously much deeper now that we're old.
I'm older than him, so that even compounds itself. For me, no, I've never done Into the Woods. I've never done a Stephen Sondheim show, period. But for me, my love of this piece, which we've even chatted about before I had been offered the role, I do feel like there were enough people putting it out into the universe that somehow we did manifest this opportunity. And I feel so grateful. But I do remember it was my sweet 16th birthday. And one of my dearest friends to this day, the gift to me was the double album of Les Mis and the double album of Into the Woods. Mm-hmm. And you would open up the big album twofold, right?
Yeah,
and
I had that.
In the seam was the production shot of the entire cast. Yeah. And I remember listening to it multiple times, not really grasping it until probably the fourth or fifth listen. I just didn't have a mature enough ear or musical palette to, hum along. But then once it caught, that was it. And I did want to play the baker's wife. That was one that I had kind of prepared myself literally just by the love of the piece, singing it everywhere, whether I was driving to, wait tables at Marie Callender's or whatever the case may be. And so it was in there somewhere. Yeah. So when the opportunity came, it didn't feel too crazy foreign or like there was no understanding of the piece or who this woman was. I would always tell Sebastian, and maybe you and I have even discussed it, that because musical theater has been my meat and potatoes for so long, it has been my passion and the way I've made my living. And the idea of not sharing a space, a creative space with Stephen Sondheim was always a bit heartbreaking to me. Yeah. So when we lost him last year, there was a great ache, but one that I had to sort of come to terms with, saying, why do I feel so deeply about losing this human of whom I've never really spent time with in the real sense, as a friend or as one-on-one, but the decades that I spent with his music and creation. And Seb has got a really great quote about him.
I was talking it's interesting because right before the pandemic hit, in early March of 2020, we went up to a group of us that had graduated from Williams, went up to the college, and we did this concert celebrating his 90th birthday. Yeah. And I was talking to John Whitman, who obviously was a dear friend of his and
wrote Assassins,
Pacific Overtures and Assassins with him. I said, I didn't know the man, but I know myself better because of his existence.
Yeah, because of him.
It really is something. And it is something to approach these roles at this point of our life where we have done so much of the work of getting to know ourselves, our strengths, our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities,
our difficulty in having a child. I mean, the parallel of their lives as the baker and the baker's wife really do touch upon so many important moments in our life. I would really say the only thing is that we're more loving, more sensitive, more understanding than the baker and the baker's wife. And that's a lot of our notes, quite frankly.
Yeah, stop touching.
Stop touching. Stop being so sentimental. Stop loving each other. Mm-hmm. We need this moment to be,
more attention.
You can't touch until this line. So those are all the index cards that come forward for our character development with these two characters.
But, when you're doing a show and you're in the thick of it and you're like, my voice, I'm worried about this or I'm worried about that. Besides being bone tired, which we are, I find myself, there's some, I don't want to get too woo-woo, but like there's some synergy, I think, with regard to these roles with us. I'm not worried about how I sound or what I'm doing or how the moment plays or how.
Because it's so in your body.
I was telling Steph, I don't think I've ever been more in my body and less in my head than I have been in this experience. Partially maybe because we were thrust into it and you only had
we couldn't get in our own way.
You don't
Do you
get
know
in
what
your
I
own
mean?
way.
Yeah.
But we're lifted by the audience. We're lifted by the cast. I mean, this cast comes together and they literally, when someone hasn't been on yet in a particular role, we get into a circle and Joshua Henry, who's, just has an aura that you can't describe, leads us in literally breathing life. We put hands on the,
can I say the whole order?
Yeah, there you go.
So the group all together takes 3 breaths in and out as a company. We're all holding each other's hands in a big circle. Then we think of one thing we're grateful for. Then we speak it out into the circle. Then we ask the actor who's going on for the first time in that role to come to the center. We all put hands on that actor. We again breathe in 3 breaths together collectively, and then kind of give them the intention of what we want for them in that moment. Yeah. We count to 3 and we all scream into the woods and off we go.
Come on.
And it's holy. It is.
I think I love Joshua Henry.
You should.
Yeah,
he is remarkable, lovable. I talk about a deep well, but the comfort with which he leads these moments, it's just part of his being to speak faith and hope and gratitude into that circle. And the willingness to have 30-some people get there before places, ready to go, to lift this person up and pour love into them and say, here we go. We're going to tell the story.
You know what? It shows, though. It shows. I'm telling you, there's something so cohesive about this show. It's not a simple show, but somehow it's told with so much simplicity that we hear every word, we feel every moment, we're sucked right in. I'm telling you, it's one of my most favorite things I've seen ever. Do you
think, Mary Lee, do you think it's because, and this just came to me, because we look at the audience at the very beginning and it's almost like we say, we trust you, we see you, and we trust you. This is a complicated piece. And by no means are they using production value to appease the audience. They're saying,
I think a lot of times in shows, that's what they'll do, right? So they'll have the fancy sets or the fancy line almost as a crutch to help you over the stuff.
You may not understand, or you might get bored, or it gets too
So we're going to give you
heavy.
this crutch to almost distract you a little bit, but this doesn't do any of that. It's so clean. It's so perfect. You do get immediately drawn in, and maybe that is because you guys are all standing there front and center, and but it's, I don't know what it is. It's something about the energy of the cast. It's something about you're all definitely telling the same story. Nobody's trying to pull focus, and it comes right out. I'm telling you, it just comes right out into the audience.
Also, you guys talked about this on a previous podcast, how Into the Woods is life. And it is. I mean, I remember I was in college and we were reading the Brothers Karamazov, which is like, 900 pages, and it's ridiculous and beautiful. And
what's it about? I need to know.
It's about Russia. And
okay. All right. Thank you.
And they say that all of life's questions are answered in that book, and Into the Woods in some regard is like that. But what I was trying to get to is we also can't divorce ourselves from what we've all lived the last few years.
Yeah.
Individually and collectively. So suddenly we're all in a space together, which we weren't for a long time. And we're in that space to share this particular experience, which we all somehow recognize, even those that don't know it quite well, is going to be more than just a show, but a life experience. And then as performers, in some regard, we've been plucked from our couches and thrust into the holy grail of musical theater. And it's shocking. And we're leading with gratitude and awe. And so you said the word holy. It really does feel like that on a daily basis, partially because of where we've been, where we are, and hope of where we're going.
Well, it's sort of, so in the first part, you guys are all going in as individuals on your individual quests, and that's sort of what COVID feels like. We all became very individual, taking care of ourselves, and you couldn't go out in the world and share the world. And then in the second part, you guys go in as a group to accomplish something. So it almost feels like as a society, we just came out of the woods of the individualism. And we're entering back in as a group trying to move forward, and I think that's how it sort of feels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Finding the perfect gift for the food lover in your life is easy, thanks to Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships America's most iconic foods, straight from world-famous restaurants right to your door. So if you want to treat someone to Joe's Stone Crab from Miami, Franklin Barbecue from Texas, or desserts from famous foodies like Ina Garten or Martha Stewart, Goldbelly has you covered. Just go to goldbelly.com and for a limited time, get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's promo code GIFT.
When you guys have to go to work every day and you're home every day and you're raising a kid every day, I mean, that's a lot of together time. Now, if you had an argument, you're driving in and you're bickering about something just because you're human and you're getting each other's nerves. How do you not bring it on stage? But you don't get the touchy notes after those performances.
No, we don't get the touchy notes after that performance.
I mean, even if we bicker, I don't think we hold on to it for too long.
No, I'm pretty good at that. Seb always likes to talk about things at nauseum. Mm-hmm. And I'm very much like, let's chat it out. What are your feelings? What are mine? Did we come to a place of understanding? And then I literally turn the page and it goes into some strange file in the back that I'm able to move forward. He wants to linger a little longer and come back and double check, circle back. How you feeling? Are we still on the same page? And I'm like, now I'm mad. Because now we're just picking at something that I thought was already healed and we're scabbing.
We're really more appropriate for these characters than anyone might.
It's really funny.
But I will say, we don't really argue. We get a little prickly with each other and it may hang over us. But we can always laugh about it. We are always in constant communication. There's never been anything in our life that hasn't allowed us to talk it out or, go to bed with each other at the end of the night and start a new day with a new understanding. That doesn't mean that big life stuff doesn't happen. Sometimes you do have to compartmentalize and say, right now is not the best time to talk about it. To me, it really is all about timing. And we're still a little out of rhythm just because of the magnitude of what we had to undertake to be here in this moment.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
I honestly believe it's crazy. Mary
Any one of those things would have caused enormous stress, but you guys did like 4 things.
Yeah. Listeners, without getting too personal, weeks ago, we were in a foreign country, not knowing that any of this was about to take place. We were in the woods in Norway when I got a call from my agent. The call kept dropping, but I knew that he was aware we were out of the country. So if he was calling, it was of something of importance. So I picked up and it was, you're on a very short list. This is really close to happening. How do you feel about it? And can you do this in 2 to 3 weeks? Can you make your life and all the moving parts that are your life do this? And then a couple days later, Seb got the call to play the baker. And then it was not a no-brainer, but it was something that we knew both of our guts, our hearts, our heads had to say yes to. And then we just had to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
So that wasn't something that you put out there. So when you got offered the role,
no, I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so perfect. It's like, how could you not, who came up with that idea?
There's one reason why I get to play the baker with this lady, and it's because of who she is, and I am okay with it.
All right, baby.
Nothing
wrong with that.
But I'm here to say nepotism only works if when the person comes forward has the goods to deliver.
Of course.
Because let's not be silly. Jordan Roth, who owns the Jew Jamson Theater and the St. James and is the producer of this. There's no way he's saying yes because I just happened to, initiate the idea. He's only saying yes when he knows that Sebastian can bring the goods.
Of course.
But going back to our life, it was packing up 10 boxes of a California home that we had no time to sell, saying yes to a rental home of which there were only 2 properties and you had to say yes in 5 minutes sight unseen, getting Vivi in a brand new school, saying goodbye to my family in Northern California, having 4 days to furnish a home that didn't have a spatula, a shower curtain, and nothing. And then arriving on August the 18th at 3:00 in the morning to start rehearsals on August the 19th. And away we went.
And then getting COVID.
Yeah, Seb got COVID.
Yeah.
So it's like, seriously, like any one of those things would have been so stressful that it would cause a lot of anxiety, but you had like 6 of them all at once in a matter of 2-3 weeks.
And going back to saying, not getting in one's own way. Again, there was no other option but to put one foot in front of the other, keep going, make it happen, waking up, starting fresh,
deal with one thing and then deal with the next thing and then deal with the next thing.
That's it.
The day before we had our first performance, I was close to a little bit of a breakdown, and I got on the phone with my best friend and his girlfriend, and they just said, you know what? And I've heard this 1,000 times, but not in this way. He said, just be where your feet are.
Yeah.
Just be where your feet are.
Just be where you are.
And I am
someplace
holding on
in
to
the
that
past or the future.
every
or
day.
Sondheim.
No. Yeah. And that's what we've been doing. And we find that, again, art imitating life. We had to do that in life, but you also have to do that with this piece, because as soon as you make a mistake, if you think about the past mistake, you've already made another one because you were not in the moment.
Right.
If you do something wonderful, magnificent, something you're proud of, or if you want to celebrate yourself in that moment and be like, oh, that was so good. There's no time. You've blown it. You've already made another mistake. Right. Once this train of Into the Woods is going, you have to be where your feet are, or else you will get lost. You will get trampled.
It's really humbling.
You know what's really funny? Saying what you just said I had this crazy dream the other night. I dreamt that my teenage son and I, at this age, were on a hike. We were hiking up a mountain. And as we got up this mountain, we found this movie theater. It was this big outdoor movie theater with these lounge chairs and these things. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Let's grab one of these chairs and watch a movie. So we jump in the chair and this Jim Carrey movie starts to play. And I look over at my son and he was 5. And what I realized was it was like this magical movie theater that your child would turn into whatever age he was when you two had watched the movie together. And you got to experience him at that age again for the whole movie. And I was like, oh my God, he's 5. I get to hang out with my 5-year-old for like 2 hours. This is amazing. And I remember he was whiny and he couldn't get his shirt off. And I like, I'll take it off. And I like, you know where they pull their arms up and you pull their shirt off?
Yes,
and I remember kissing the top of his head and feeling his soft, like silky hair. And I could smell that little kid smell of like sugar and little kid sweat and dirt. And it was like I was eating the moments. And one of the things in that dream, I woke up so happy. My husband's like, I haven't seen you this happy. I was like giddy because it was like I got some weird gift where I got to be with him again. But what it made me realize was how much of the moments of his childhood I actually did take the time to take in. Mm-hmm. Just like, because your feet are where they are. And even though it's stressful and you get aggravated taking their shirt off sometimes, something about that dream brought me back to like a tangible moment of his childhood. And that it just came into my head when you said you have to, if you're celebrating because you did something great, or if you're regretting that you just made a mistake, you're already out of the moment. And there was something about that dream that was so real about being in that moment. And I knew it was just going to be for the length of the movie. So I had to just like soak in every second of it. It was crazy dream. It was crazy.
That's a beautiful dream. That's a beautiful concept.
Yeah.
And we've always, when we ask our guests about the superpower, I don't know if you remember, but that's mine. I wanted time travel. I wanted to, and maybe it's counterintuitive to what you just said, but the idea of knowing that you can appreciate those moments so viscerally and all your senses understand who that little person was or who you were in that moment. Yeah. It's because you were truly there. You can only go back with such detail, Mary Lee, because you were truly there.
I think that is one of the feelings that I got, like, wow, somewhere along the way, I really took a moment to remember the smell of sugar in his hair. So that I could recall it in that way. But oh my God, it was this crazy dream. And it was such a gift. And you saying about the moment, that's what made me think of that dream again. But
we have to remind ourselves of that all the time. Even right now, when we're exhausted and there's a long list of things that need to be done here at the home and emails to answer. What we're doing, he and I, as husband and wife, as artists collectively,
What a gift.
oh my gosh.
And to be able to do it
probably will not happen
together.
together.
It doesn't happen to
Right.
begin with. It can't be repeated. It's not, it
Right.
is a moment. It's
And sometimes maybe being so exhausted, it helps you almost stay in the moment because you're too tired to wander. You just gotta
Well, that
focus
is
on
true.
what you're doing right now and
That is true.
find the happiness in it. What made you, Seb, when you said that in your senior year, you decided that you were going to be an actor? What were you studying before? And what made you decide, that's it, I'm going to be an actor?
I had always done shows, and it was more than a hobby. Not yet a passion, but something I loved. While friends of mine were doing community theater or summer theater, I was working on political campaigns and such. I was very into politics and political science. And so I went to college studying international relations. I grew up in a family that was very politically conscious and didn't necessarily think I would work in the foreign service, but, DC sort of pulled me in that direction. So the summer after my freshman year of college, I was volunteering for Clinton Gore and the campaign and such. What I found over the course of my college life was that international relations became U.S. involvement in Latin America in the 20th century primarily. The deeper I got into art and art history and theater in college, I was really studying the art of politics more than I was the science, right? So while my theater career was converging with that, by the time I got to my senior year, I was sort of overwhelmed by art in general, and I knew I had to at least try. And I had never really thought of the arts as a career. I don't know how there was that disconnect, how it could mean so much to me, and yet I couldn't necessarily think of it as a career. I felt some sort of a responsibility.
Did it seem frivolous or something?
No, not frivolous, not at all.
Impossible?
Just
Unlikely.
unattainable. I don't know. I had a very loving, very vocal, very supportive, very communicative family. There weren't necessarily roadblocks to that kind of a life. I just think maybe no one in my sphere had ever done that. And I did feel, I was that sort of, I have to change the world. I got to make a difference in the world. And for some reason, I thought that was through the political sphere or not-for-profits or whatever it was. I never thought I could do it through the arts. Or that I could look to my family and say, all the schooling that I've been through, I'm going to take that and be an actor. But that's where my heart was. And then I just hit New York and used the skills I had picked up in economics and politics and political science and sort of hit the ground running and
I always say that to young actors. I say, don't go to school and just study acting. Go to school and study all kinds of things, because everything you learn is just going to inform you as a person, and you'll be a better actor just through learning other things in the world. You bring it into
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that too.
All right. Did you guys want to talk anything else about Into the Woods?
Well, we want to talk about, I don't know, what should we share, babes? What are we learning along the way? Balance, but that's always the goal, right? I mean, life balance between home life and professional life. And the gift of this opportunity is shedding light on the importance of balance. So we are going to take these 6 weeks and suck the marrow out of all of the art in it and the gifts in it and the highs of it. But we've also learned as parents and partners that this probably can't happen again. That with a young child, both of the parents working this schedule, and we never want to sound like, it's too much or that we're not grateful, but we're also,
It's
we have to be,
realistic.
it's realistic.
Wishes come true, not free.
And then,
Yeah. But you know what? It actually makes it even more special because, for a while, this is the last time people will see you two together on stage, which makes you want to go even more, And
Well,
Seb, you're not
yes.
in it for much longer, right? You're just in it for.
No, yeah. Until October 23rd, when
But
the great Brian Darcy James comes back. He's a Titan, and I'm happy to have held his satchel over my shoulder for a while.
I like to joke that Seb and I only do shows that involve witches, over the shoulder bags and tight pants. We only say yes to those particular criteria. What else do you want to know about us? Seb has a secret knock on my dressing room door. So I know it's him. So I know it's not stage management or my dresser or company management. That's
What
fun.
is it? Can we know?
We can't tell you. It's a secret knock.
Yeah.
And then what else do we do together, babes? We brush our teeth kind of at the same time.
Sometimes we have the same warm up with.
So you don't share a dressing room. That's a
Hell
little too much
no.
togetherness.
Our
Enough
process
already.
is so different. The way we keep our dressing rooms, our space is so different.
Let me guess, yours is
mine
neat?
messy. It's just not as clean as yours.
Yes.
You're a neat freak.
I hear you, Seb. Okay. She tells me how messy I was. Meanwhile, she's just anal and I'm just normal.
This is the perfect example. Okay. You've got a shelf on the wall. It's long and horizontal, right? It's not, the depth wise is not coming out far, but then you put a basket and you don't put the basket horizontal. You put it this way so that the depth of half of the basket is hanging over the shelf.
Easier to access.
What lunatic does that?
Someone that doesn't care that
Someone
much?
that takes the mic tape off the back of their neck and just sticks it on their dressing table.
Until I'm ready to
No,
pick it
until
up.
I say, please tell me you're going to throw that away
No,
before
you just
we leave.
preempt the throw out.
Oh,
I'm ready to throw it out.
No,
You come into my room and you start,
Nope. With all due respect, there would
wasn't gonna
be
sit there.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you guys don't share a
overnight.
dressing room. It would be a divorce at the end of this run.
Yeah.
I will say this.
The woods.
I will say this. Yesterday, I had to go in a little early and I took the train without her, and darn it, I missed her.
Aww.
And now, our 5 questions.
All right. I have 5 questions, but they're all brand new questions.
Oh, they are.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right.
You're going rogue.
You're
She's
both
going
going to
rogue.
answer them. This is what happens when I'm left on my own. All right. Question number 1. We're going to say it to Steph first.
Okay.
At what moment were you sure that you were going to marry Seb?
I was very sure I was going to marry Seb when he was still on tour. I was back home.
California?
He and I would have conversations and I would speak to him openly about the past relationship that I was still healing. And he would listen with such an open heart and say, look, there's no pressure here. It's either this lifetime or the next. That was the clincher. Come on.
No pressure.
No.
Seb?
Oh, boy. I can tell you that it was well before I think she knew. And it also included sharing something with her. It's too personal. Can't tell you. Can't tell you.
Oh, but it was before she knew. You knew.
I knew pretty soon that, like very soon, that my life was changed forever. And that I hoped to spend my life with Steph. I just didn't know that it would either work that way or that she would agree.
So, Steph, if you had been talking to him on the phone and he said no pressure, this life of the next, and you looked up and you saw the basket was on the shelf wrong, would it have mattered?
Yes, it would have. Yes. But I will say this. He came in, you knew who I was right off the bat. We were in Florida. Our windows, for some reason, there was something wrong with the air conditioning or the window. And he's like, I figured it out. I figured out how to unlock these windows to get fresh air into our rooms. And I said, would you mind doing that for my room? But I wasn't going to be there. And he walked into my hotel room it was spotless. And he's like, oh, the maid already came. And I went, no. And he's like, you make your bed every morning and you fold the hand towels like that. And the office desk like has the pad with the pencil at a diagonal. And I was like, of course. And then there was one time.
I've been trained. I was not the same person back then. I mean, I was 29 on tour. My room was not
his room was.
Yeah, your room looked like my room.
Disaster.
Okay. Next question. Seb first. If you could live in another era, which one would it be and why?
Ooh, wow. That's really difficult. I think the 1960s.
Wow.
And I don't know why. I think
maybe because of the political.
Yeah, I think partially to be on the cusp of change and to help
civil rights and
yes, exactly. It helps sort of help make that change. The other time was early century when I might have gotten to know some family members that have haunted me, lingered in my spirit. So, that's my initial answer. You go.
Yeah.
Well, mine is not as earth-shattering. I immediately went to the 1930s, 1940s.
Mm-hmm.
I know that also was a difficult period in history for Europe, but I also, the height of the golden age of movie musicals is something that I watch and I just become a different being. Yeah. It's like my bloodstream goes in a different direction when I watch those movies. So I'd like to say that I might have been there in some capacity.
I feel the same way. That's the era I'd want. And I feel like I know it. It's really funny. Yeah.
The fashion, the music, the sensibility of it all. Yeah. There's a familiarity there.
Okay. Steph.
Yes.
Name one irrational fear.
Alligators. I feel like they're everywhere. I feel like they could come and get me at any moment. I think they're terribly scary and prehistoric. And I wish they would just, become extinct, completely irrational, but never been encountered with one. But God forbid, there could be one literally in my living room.
Perhaps in the 1930s, you were eaten by one.
I was.
Don't know. Could have been. Seb.
Rational fear, spiders.
So we're not able to edit
rational fear, spiders. Irrational fear. Fear is not the right word, but like complex relationship with multiple choice.
There's that many.
No, just multiple choice.
You ask him a multiple choice question. He cannot answer. I give this man a magazine quiz and watch him
Don't
melt.
Give me Facebook quizzes. Don't give me those online things where they ask you questions.
What Enneagram are you? He will fucking explode.
This is
my God.
This is unnecessary and unfair because invariably there's haziness and multiple choice, ergo multiple answers. Like there are, unless you give me an all of the above, even that's hazy because like maybe C is not as true as B and A.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I think it's garbage.
I love you so much. Story of his life.
Want the whole story. I want an other.
I'm dyslexic, are you?
Never diagnosed.
Because that's a dyslexia thing. The dyslexics, we can't take multiple choice quizzes because every single answer is correct to us. Our brain can find a way to make it correct.
The process is wrong. I don't, and don't come at me with statistics that say it's right. No, I want an other tab. I want, please specify extra notes on the back of this page. Yes, I need to tell you more.
I'm a little sorry I asked this question.
Yeah, I was going to say, so ladies, when you were like, oh, Sebastian Arcelus, I'm so jealous. You rethinking that? You rethinking that right now?
Look, complicated, maybe. Layered, definitely.
Oh my God. I love you guys. Okay. I don't even know if that was 4 or 5 or what, but I'm just going to keep going. All right. I don't even know whose turn is it. Is it your turn, Steph?
Fine, no, I'm first now. Oh, wait, no, I said alligators first.
Okay, so Seb. Is there one thing that belongs to Stephanie that you will never, ever get rid of?
Stop. Just answer the effing question.
Oh my God.
Questions are so difficult. Yes. That I will never get rid of. The problem is that she gets rid of many things and she does it without me knowing. So, well, of course, her wedding dress, her wedding ring.
That's it. That's the answer. Her wedding dress.
No, there's more. There are more answers.
Oh my God.
I mean, I could go on forever. You're right.
All right, Steph.
Is there anything of his that I will never get rid of? This,
She wants.
I just need to think. This is not if I was given more time, I'd come up with something else. But the image that keeps coming into my head, okay, this is a little personal as well. But for every anniversary, we take quite literally, like the first anniversary is paper, right?
Yeah,
and you follow suit. I can't remember what year, but the year was copper. And this crazy man decided to show up as a cop. And he did this whole extraordinary dance for me. There was a whole scenelet that went with it. And so there is a copper costume upstairs that I just will never get rid of.
That is gold.
Because it's gold. Because it is one of those core memories where it was loving, romantic, hilarious, the true him. And we were both so silly and in love. That cheap ass costume.
Yeah.
I love it.
It holds so much.
I love it.
That's what I said. I'm a copper. And you want to know how, this is how Seb it was. So of course, like I showed up with Spotify and it was like Bad Company or something like, the music. Yeah. So I got this like music and I started dancing and I'm doing the thing. And then out of nowhere, as I'm in the middle of this dance, it's all, for a 2014 Mazda Civic, you can get it. The commercial came on and suddenly, that killed the mood, but we laughed.
Oh my gosh.
We do laugh.
That's the joy.
That's the
secret.
thing you're going to keep.
Lots of laughing.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm flipping it. Steph, if there was one thing of his that he keeps that you really want to toss, what would it be?
He still has clothes from college that he keeps going, what size is this? When did I ever wear this? And yet puts it back on the hanger and puts it back in his closet. And I wish I could throw out all of those clothes, but he cannot. That is a moment in his timeline that represents something so special that I can't understand, but he's not ready to get rid of it. But these clothes are just terrible.
Yeah. Can I answer?
Yeah.
Bag bomb.
Okay, that is such a random thing. For those
That
of you
shit is disgusting.
Bag bomb is a little ointment or like a emollient type thing that my grandmother turned my mother onto, my mother turned me onto, and it comes in a tin dish, and it's literally what farmers would put on cow udders when they
Why do you have that?
Because it's great for dry skin, but it smells terrible. So sometimes I'll have it on my old lady face, like when I go to sleep, and he'll kiss me goodnight. He's like, son of a... Yeah, you smell like a disgusting cow udder with medicine on it.
God.
You guys, we keep the romance so hot up in here.
Yeah.
I think this might be my favorite interview ever. Okay, and we're just going to end with the nail polish. Seb, if you were a nail polish, what color would you be? What would the name be?
I mean, I guess I'm sort of it's not a nail polish, but I have to be navy blue, right? I mean, I just wear blue.
Yeah.
All I do is wear blue. I mean, I've heard you do interviews forever and I've never come up with a name. High strung in a laid back way.
Oh,
How do you even fit that on a label? But I like it.
That's the thing.
I like it.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm only allowed to wear clear now because I'm a peasant woman and I have to wear clear for the next couple months, which is not usually my jam. Usually I do like to have some fun color. So, I don't know. Mine might have like a little hue of like a brown, and it's called clear as mud.
Ooh, I like
That's kind
that.
of cute, right? Yeah,
I like it.
Clear as mud.
What about the baker's wife and the baker? What would their colors be?
Ooh.
What would their nail polish be?
They're pretty earth tony, aren't they?
Yeah. Beans, the magical fruit.
Oh, that's good.
Or it could be a polish that's got different, right? So white, red,
there you
yellow,
go.
and gold. The cow is white as milk. The cape is red as blood. The hair as yellow as corn, the slipper is pure as gold. So just a whole bunch of, the 4 colors.
And it'll
That
be
could
called
cute.
Bun in the Oven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, bun in the oven.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
that's
you guys.
real cute.
There you go.
I
Not
love you
anymore, though,
both.
babes. We love you.
This was so much fun.
That's so much fun. Are you going to now hang up with us and be like, so what struck a chord with me was?
No.
Huh. No,
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I think there's enough in this interview to sustain us for the whole hour.
Ah.
Babbling on.
All right. Well,
All right.
everybody, thanks for listening. Come see Into the Woods.
Into the woods.
It's so worth going to see. I want to
Thank
see it again, and I've already seen it twice. So
Yeah.
it's
Come on
amazing.
back.
Yeah.
We love you, ML.
Love you both so much.
No.
Okay, everybody. So I couldn't get the rights to any songs from Bad Company to play at the end of this podcast. So I just want you to pretend that I'm playing Bad Company while picturing Seb Arcelus in his copper uniform. You're welcome. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Y'all, Stages is now sponsored by BetterHelp, and I couldn't be more excited because I love therapy. So I encourage you, if you've had a tough year and a half, why don't you give them a shot? You can find a therapist that you can connect with. Their resource is thousands of therapists, well-trained and experienced. You can keep looking until you find someone that you click with. They have customized online therapy. They do offer videos, but they also offer phone and live chat sessions. So you don't even have to be seen. You can only be heard. What are you waiting for? Go to BetterHelp. That's HELP.com/stages. And for our cast members, you get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/stages. Go, go, go. Go find your healing. Go find your happy. Stages podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. That's HELP.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you loved this episode or any of our episodes, please follow, subscribe, and share on all your social media platforms. Go ahead and give us 5 stars and a review. That helps us a lot. You can always find us at stagespodcast.net. Thank you to Allison Arns, our booking agent, Brock Grenfeld, our sound engineer, Noah Kaiserman and Garrett Healy for our original music, and Tina Wargo, our social media manager. Stages Podcast is produced and edited by me, Mary Lee Fairbanks, and Stephanie J. Block. And thank you to all of you, our cast members, for listening. We'll see you real soon.